Hey folks, welcome back to the Horde. So I got the snow thing going on. That means my friends out in Ohio and Pennsylvania probably already got this, and after this, here on the East Coast we're going to get warm. I think you guys are just going to get cold out there, right? Anyway, let me show you what I've been up to. So, 31 degrees. I think you guys could see that. 31. I don't know. So it's about 2:15. It is Saturday, the 3rd of January, 2015. Look at that. Minus 1.3 degrees. So, and this, as the tiebreaker says, 32. So it's right around freezing. Anyway, happy Saturday. And you can see by the yellow light, my batteries are still in a charge mode. I always start my videos up here, and one of the reasons is I always like to give the garage a quick check. I'm not sure why I need to check it all the time, but I do check it, and I check out back. Also, make sure none of my board has disappeared. So, especially this one, right? Put a bunch of time into the lower garage today. And we also have to talk about that 200S motor. So, you guys could see, it's been snowing, I don't know, about an hour, give or take. We've already picked up over an inch of snow. You can also see what's not in the driveway. Right? This still is, but the rest of it is not. Check this out. So, I managed to squeeze this in. You guys remember there was that painter's rack full of crap right here? Well, I put a bunch of that stuff away, took the rack apart, put it up on the shelf. That shelf on top is not packed. I think you guys could see there's a shelf here. It's about 6 foot deep. It is not packed completely, and even underneath that shelf down there on the garage floor is not packed completely either. One of the problems with having a 6 foot shelf in the back of the garage, it's very easy for stuff to get up on that shelf and to rot there forever. Right now, all the way up against the wall, that way, on the top shelf is a Honda. I don't know if it's a 185 or a 200. It does have front suspension, I think. So, it's probably a 200S. Anyway, up against that far wall is a 200S frame with no engine on it and no rear end. Or a frame with an engine on it, no rear end, and right next to it is a frame, no engine, no rear end, just front forks and a frame. So those two things I forgot about. I had them. They're up there rotting on the upper shelf. I also, you know, there's tires in the back there. Mostly this rack has tires on it. There's a stack of tires right there. So as you look at this garage, unfortunately, it's holding a lot of dead storage stuff, right? I mean, it's kind of good to keep a generator in here, kind of good to keep snowblower in here, kind of good to keep the backhoe loader in here. Those things are all positive. But when you got a bunch of tires that are just, once again, stacks and stacks of them that are just taking up space, you got to really ask yourself what you're up to. Also, once again, in the back there, having that 200S motor on a frame and a 200S just frame, just sitting back there rotting, that's not really the best use of space or the best use of that stuff. They should come out of there. I should figure out what I'm going to do with them and move them forward. Anyhow, so the snowblower right here, covered with snow because it was outside while I was clearing. I can roll it right out and do the driveway should I need to. I brought the golf cart in. At this moment, it's not really such that I can easily work on it, because if I jack it up, I can't get completely around 360. I brought that in just for the sake of getting it out of the weather. There's the other motor that was on there, Old Smoky. So anyhow, making progress, I guess is what I want to say. Because now that this rat's in here, right, that means I also have enough space that I could probably, I don't know if the Cushman would fit in here yet. That would be the best. Probably the Cushman would fit if I got that snowblower out of the way, put the nose in there. I think the Cushman might fit in here. And if the Cushman could go in here, then I'd have plenty of space to work in the other garage. What would be great is to get the Cushman in here, and also to get the three or the four-wheeler, or even one of the three-wheelers down here. That would just make plenty of space, make it a lot easier to work on this thing, right? Be able to move around. Okay, so that's first. Second, I put the portable ignition on this thing and double-checked and triple-checked and quadruple-checked. It's sparking. I pulled the hell out of the string, and she would not start. And it was still doing that little belchy thing out the carburetor, and the compression was way high. This engine has pretty good mileage on it, and it was pushing compression of 180. The other engine I ran across that was pushing compression of 180 would not start either. That's abnormal. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I had gotten that engine to the point where I was going to take the head off and take a look inside to see if there was something going on, and I put it aside, and this engine appears to have exactly the same symptoms. So I gotta take a look, see what's cooking with it. Just doesn't make sense that the compression would go from 75, loosen the valve up a little bit. It's still pulling through the carburetor. The valve is still opening. But even with all that, it as I pull it over, every once as it kicks, you can see like a little pop out the carburetor, right? A little mist of gas out the carburetor, which doesn't make sense, right? The only time the intake valve should ever be opened is when it's sucking from the carburetor, at which time you shouldn't see vapor popping out the carburetor. So I'm thinking it's doing something strange there. Once again, I think though the compression is where I want it to be, or higher than I want it to be, it's not doing the right things for me. You know, the valve isn't right somehow. That intake valve just isn't right. Folks have mentioned a leak down compression tester, and I'm not sure why I had to have it, but I bought the Harbor Freight Wonder, and I guess what you do is you put it on there and you put air to it, and you check to see how long it holds that air. I guess you could also listen to the take the carburetor off and see if there's any leak by on the intake valve, right? So I guess I could do that. The nice thing about buying that compression tester is I don't have to get a spark plug, put it in the lathe, and try to drill it out, right? I can just use that compression tester. It has all the adapters, so you can punch them right in the spark plug hole there. Now that I got all this crap in the garage here, I'm hoping that it melts off pretty quick. For tomorrow, we're supposed to get weather up to 60, right? It's supposed to get warm and rain a little bit in 60, and then Monday 30s, and then down to the highs in the 20s, you know, teens or single digits at night. So winter truly has set in. Probably like this all around the country on the, you know, on the northern side of the equator. But our worst weather is typically the last week or two of January and the first week or two of February. Typically the last week of January, the first week of February, but let's throw another week on both sides of it to make sure we hit the worst of it. And we're very quickly coming up on that, right? Today's already the 3rd, so we're coming up to the part of real winter. All right, folks, got about 10 minutes on this thing. Thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. Yeah, I think for this rat, next thing is pulling the head off, putting that head that I showed you guys the other day on it. See if that brings it to life. It's such a beautiful engine, right? Nothing stripped, no dings to the case. All the fins are there. I mean, it's a beauty there. It's really a shame if I can't get it to go, right? I really want that one to run. It's not like old Smoky there. It appears to be a nice engine. Anyway, folks, keep your feet down, keep your head up. Thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. Not exactly exciting watching me move a golf cart into the garage, but it is progress for me, and I have to celebrate all those silly little pieces of progress. Take care, folks. And remember, keep your feet down, keep your head up, and enjoy all your days. You don't know how many you're going to get, so make sure you enjoy them all. Bye now.